Hi, I'm Kellie Murphy-Ringate, Fire Marshal and Public Educator for the Excelsior Fire District, and welcome to First Responder TV, your public safety source, featuring training exercises, safety tips, and much more. Here's what's coming up on First Responder TV. We'll learn about Sophia's Law with Hennepin County Sheriff Office Water Patrol Deputy Alan Lange. Newly elected Hennepin County Sheriff Dave Hutchinson will provide us with an update on his first 6 months. The Wayzata Police Department showcased their recently donated electric bikes on making a difference. Scam Alert will give you an update on scams that have been targeting the citizens in the lake area. Joining us today is Deputy Alan Lange from the Hennepin County Sheriff's Water Patrol. Thanks for coming today and spending some time with us.
Hey Kelly, thanks for having me here.
So can you tell us a little bit about how you joined Water Patrol?
I've been a deputy for 6.5 years now, and about 1.5 years after I started working here, I was able to bid this position, interview for it, and eventually get selected to move out here.
So what's the responsibilities of a deputy with Water Patrol?
A lot of our responsibilities fall under state statute. We provide public education, search and recovery of drowned bodies, buoying and marking of rivers and lakes.
Okay, and do you have to enforce laws similar to what the police have to do on the highways?
Absolutely. We have laws out here on the lake too that need to be enforced. They're slightly different than on the road, but there are similarities.
What's your favorite part of your job or some of your best experiences out on the lake?
I do like the summer season the best. I'm an outdoorsman, so I do enjoy being on the water, boating around, and I'm a people person. I enjoy making contacts.
So is part of your job educational when you make those contacts?
Yeah, a lot of what we do is educational. I prefer not to do enforcement. I will if I have to, but if I believe that I can get them to change their behavior just based on the discussion we had, we'll move forward with that. A lot of people just simply don't understand some of the stuff out there.
So we're going to talk about safety, and we're going to talk about Sophia's Law. So my question to you, what is Sophia's Law and why was it named after her?
Sophia's Law was created after an incident on October 11, 2015. A 7-year-old girl named Sophia was overcome by carbon monoxide while boating with her parents, and because of the carbon monoxide she ingested, she ended up passing away. Her family went to bat for her and created a law. I believe we were the first state to have a carbon monoxide law for boating.
So when did this law go into effect?
May 1st, 2018.
So what's the most common questions you get from boaters about the law?
We get a lot of questions about the stickers. They're concerned that they're going to get a ticket if they don't have the stickers in the right spots. There's a lot of confusion about what spaces need to have CO detectors in them. They need to be enclosed spaces, so they call them enclosure compartments, different from an occupancy compartment. An occupancy compartment would be your typical open bow boat. Anybody seated inside that boat is a occupancy space. Enclosure would be going down below a kitchen, galley, sink, or a bathroom with a toilet, or a sleeping quarters.
Oh, okay. These stickers that you mentioned, where do people get these stickers and how much do they cost?
The stickers are free. You can get them at your deputy registrars where you would go and get your car tabs, marinas, marine dealers or repair shops, and or the sheriff's office. We have them available. When
the stickers come, do they explain where to put them?
Yes, they do. They explain step-by-step instructions on the stickers. You need one at the stern, back by the motor. You need one up by the helm or the steering wheel, and then you need one going down into the enclosure space.
Okay, so is that to notify the Water Patrol that they have the carbon monoxide detector on board, or is that to let people, the occupants, know that there's one aboard? Is that both?
It's more to let the occupants of the boat know of the dangers of going into an enclosed space and that it may harbor CO inside there.
Okay, so let's say that you have a motorboat that doesn't have a galley or a sink or a sleeping area, but it has enclosed areas. Is it recommended to install a marine carbon monoxide detector in those areas?
Yes, some of those areas might not by law be required to have a CO detector in them, but it is recommended. In enclosure areas, I would consider anything an enclosure area where you can close off the supply of fresh oxygen or fresh air into that area.
So basically, enclosure areas are where carbon monoxide will collect. Where else on the boat is a common place for it to collect?
Even on an open bow boat, sitting back by the motor, depending on the wind direction, you could be intaking CO just based off the emissions from the motor, if the wind is swirling around your head.
So a lot of people don't really understand where carbon monoxide comes from. Can you give us a couple of examples?
Well, depending on the type of boat, most boats out here run off of gasoline, so we're burning a fossil fuel, and through the combustion process, we're creating carbon monoxide. So you have your motors. We do have some diesel motors out here. They're doing the same thing. It's not quite as prevalent as a gasoline motor. And then some areas have gas cooking areas down below too. So it's possible if you're cooking food, you could be generating that in your enclosed area also.
So just in case some of our viewers are thinking, well, wow, I can go to a store and I can go and buy the same kind of carbon monoxide alarm as I use for my house and put it in my boat. There is a difference between the marine carbon monoxide detectors and a regular residential CO alarm. Can you explain that?
A residential CO alarm detects very low, fine levels of carbon monoxide because in a home there should be zero present. So if it's detecting some, that means there's a problem with one of your appliances in the house. In the marine setting, there's carbon monoxide around the boat because you're operating a motor in the open. You may be cooking down below without a vent to suck the fumes out. So the marine carbon monoxide detector is allowed to have a slightly higher level and tolerate some small spikes.
So when people are purchasing a carbon monoxide marine detector, is there anything that indicates the difference?
Carbon monoxide detector used on a boat should say marine grade. They're built differently in the sense of their components are made to withstand some moisture. Obviously you're on the lake, you could be in the rain. So
residential smoke alarms and residential carbon monoxide alarms have a lifespan. Is that the same with marine grade?
Yes, the marine grade ones have an average lifespan of 5 years. The newer ones do come stamped with a life expectancy date on them, similar to your 9-volt batteries.
Let's say something happens out on the lake and I realize that my carbon monoxide detector's going off and my grandmother that was down in the boat is kind of lethargic. Do I call 911?
Absolutely.
Okay. How does the Water Patrol find me if I'm out on Lake Minnetonka and I've just called 911 and I have no idea where I am?
Well, in the area of cell phones, we have a few options available to us. One would be ping the cell phone, and our dispatchers help us with that. And that's basically using the GPS signal on the phone. It dials us in pretty close. A lot of people here in Lake Minnetonka know the landmarks. They're able to tell me the Arcola Bridge or the Narrows or Brackett's Point, and that helps us out.
Where can people find out more information about Sophia's Law?
The DNR's website actually has a lot of information, a lot of tabs to click on. It goes through and explains the type of CO detector you should be looking for, where it's placed, where the stickers are placed. Does your vessel need it? Does your vessel not need it? There's a lot of information on there.
Is there anything you want to share with our viewers that we haven't covered today?
I just wish that everybody be safe out here. It's been a long time in coming to get the hot weather, and just please wear your life jacket when you're out on the water and be safe.
Thanks for joining us today.
No problem.
First Responder TV will be right back after this short break.
I surrender, I surrender.
All right, pal. Get ready for the day, buddy.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
What's that?
Do we have a gun?
Welcome back to First Responder TV. Hennepin County Sheriff David Hutchinson gives us an update on his first 6 months and his plans for the future.
Thank you. I think the most important thing, me personally, is employee wellness and wellness of our deputies and our partner police officers. You know, in this community is, we have a tough job, the street cops and our detention deputies and crime lab. I mean, they go to all the worst of the worst calls. So it's important to me to make sure they're well, because then when they run into you, either on the lake or driving down the street when they pull you over, is that they need to be happy and healthy to be able to serve you and give you good service and your family good service, because you know, I've worked in a department where morale was bad. The main goal for me is to make sure they're healthy and happy so they can do their job. And morale, that goes hand in hand. So we're out here with our water patrol, especially our patrol division, contracts with a city out here. And our goal is to be the best partners. So my administration, I have set up meetings with all the chiefs of police in the county. There's 36 of them, so we can't do them every week, obviously, but we're working on doing a couple a month every 6 months. So I think it's important for the chiefs out here and the city councils out here and the mayors out here know that the sheriff's office is here. Again, we play a critical role in their assisting agencies with all the stuff I've mentioned, but the most important is crime lab. Any deaths that occur out here, we take. So it's important. We have a peer-to-peer support group, which is brand new. It's just starting finally this month. That's one thing I learned: the speed of government is about as fast as I would be if I ran a marathon. So it is what it is, but we're working hard. And we did a mentorship program, which is, for the rank structure goes sheriff, chief deputy, major, lieutenant, or captain, lieutenant, sergeant. So deputies will be teamed up with a sergeant, sergeant will be teamed up with a lieutenant. So again, our goal is to not just be bosses, but be leaders, and then part of that is building future leaders. So we just can't say, well, I'm a lieutenant, so sergeant, do your own thing. Our goal is to make those sergeants become lieutenants someday, and hopefully, after a couple terms, they'll take my job from me. So we're adding workout facilities to pretty much all the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office locations. Uniform changes, and partly I'm wearing this outer vest carrier. The former administration didn't like them because they thought they were, professional looking. I think they're good. It just adds so I could take it off if I'm warm or if I'm sitting inside somewhere safe. I don't need my ballistic vest. I can just take it off. And also, we're carrying tourniquets with us now. We have Narcan kits. People can wear goatees if they want. I think that's important just because, majority of people in the world have facial hair, and our goal is not to, be different, but to blend in with the community. Tattoo policy, and it depends on what part of the county you're in. But before you couldn't have any visible tattoos, and we changed the policy. You can have visible tattoos, obviously, if they're not, if they're not offensive to anybody. So we changed that, and that's to get different applicants, more diverse applicants. And I think the most important thing is to recruit and hire our veterans. A lot of veterans have tattoos. It just kind of goes with territory, and we need veterans in our sheriff's office because they served our country, and they understand the rank structure. They're most of the time trained in different things we do. So that's kind of what we're doing for employee wellness and morale. And then eventually we've got some money for a wellness center at City Hall that will have therapists on hand, chaplains, different kinds of things to help our deputies, again, be mentally stable and healthy. And then eventually we're going to open a wellness center for the public, and that's actually going to be geared more towards inmates and their families, because a lot of times when people get incarcerated, their families suffer too. If the mom or dad or whoever is the money maker, if they're not making any money while they're incarcerated, they face other challenges, and we want to help them. And so the opioid abuse, we added the opioid addiction screening in jail. So us and a few other counties in the nation, I think we're actually the most robust as far as this. Eventually we're going to have all 3 narcotics that will help with opioid dependence. I think in a couple weeks we'll get methadone available in our facility. We have the 2 other drugs currently using, and we have, since the end of April, we've got about 50 people on the program, and I think well over half have been successful in staying off opioids. So again, we're going to have methadone, Vivitrol, and Suboxone all in the jail, and I think we're one of the first counties in the nation to do that. And it just goes to show you that we're serious about it. We're getting grant money for it. I think it's important that we're helping these people, not just incarcerating them and saying, good luck to you. Our goal is to reduce crime. Our goal is to help people who need help. So if you're mentally ill, we want to get you mental health treatment. If you're addicted to any drug, we want to get you treatment. Because people who are sick either mental health or drug addiction, they're not criminals. They're ill, and we got to make that distinction. And I think finally the state's going to step up on that and help us. So mental health, again, that was a big part of my campaign. It was a big part of my career as a transit officer. I kind of helped start the mental health unit. What we're trying to do is, and we're doing it now with some pilot programs. We're going to have we're working on hiring a social worker to be up in the dispatch center in Plymouth. So if someone calls, talks to a dispatcher, and the dispatcher will get extra training, like this person obviously has some mental health issues. So they'll transfer the call to this mental health worker, and they'll try to go step by step. So if the police need to be called, how to do it safely, because a lot of times, and I'll talk a little more about it, but the mental health, if someone calls the police, I'm suffering, and a lot of people do. The first time they're suffering, they call, and the police come and they bring them down to the hospital, and the hospital releases them. 72 hours later, it's pretty much it. And so they're okay for a little while, and then the second time, same thing happens. Then the third and fourth time, now they're angry. And so that's when it gets ramped up. So when the police get called, that's when the people end up, fighting with the police, or, worse things happen. And our goal is to kind of prevent that. So we're doing a pilot program in Eden Prairie where we're going to have, so Eden Prairie is going to take the initial call, and then the next day or the day after, we'll have one of our deputies with the mental health workers show up and do immediate follow-up. So if that person's having problems, this mental health professional will say, they'll do their thing. What can we do? Talk therapy. Is it drugs? Is it, exercise programs? So they actually go to their houses and help them. But our goal is to keep people who suffer from mental health out of jail. And that's what we're doing with these pilot programs of getting people help. We would much rather have people in clinics versus jail, because we can't be mental health workers and jailers and deputies. We need to have some help. Our main goal is, we're statutorily responsible for jail. We're statutorily responsible for water patrol. Even in places that don't have lakes and rivers, if you were, or somebody, hopefully nobody in here, would pass away in their bathtub or their pool, by statute, we take those calls. Any crime lab, because the only city in Minneapolis with their own, in Hennepin County with their own crime lab is Minneapolis. So if your house gets broken into, we'll come out and process it. Your car gets broken into or your car gets stolen, we'll come out and process that. So we do a lot more than people think. We're just not the first person you see when you're in the city with its own police department. The public wants difference in policing. People they want to change, and I think the 21st century model, while it's not perfect, is at least working towards being more transparent. If someone has a suggestion that's going to work better, come bring it to us and we'll actually listen to you. Where in the old days is like, we're the police, doesn't matter what you say. The 21st century policing isn't just necessary to make us grow, it's to make the people grow. And I think I'm a very progressive leader in policing. We're doing our best to do more outreach with the community, and we need to earn respect back. We've kind of lost it over the years, but also I think we're doing a good job with it, at least locally. And the public now needs to be a little aware that just because you get stopped for speeding or you get arrested for DWI or this or that, it's not our fault. We're doing our job. You're the one who put yourself in that position. And I tell this to different communities, and we're going to do what we have to do to keep people safe. And regardless if it's popular or unpopular, I think it's easy to be popular. It's not always easy to be right. But my goal is to hopefully have our deputies and our staff be popular and right most of the time. And I think it's important for the community to know that the majority of us are out there to try to do good for our communities. And we got to figure out as a community, both inner city and out in this area, of how do we get back to where the police were respected, the police treated people better and more decent. How do we get there? I think it's education for us, training for us, but also some people need to hold themselves accountable. And I think hopefully that gets there sooner or later.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
We'd like to spotlight a member of the community that goes above and beyond in our segment Making a Difference. This month is the Wayzata Police Department. They will show us the electric bikes that were recently donated to their department.
They were donated by a company called Anderson Windows. Bill's wife had some remodeling done in her house. She had new windows. They heard about the story of Sean and they wanted to give back. I thought it'd be a good idea to give something, give back to the community, and they donated the bikes to our police department. We can definitely utilize them in our city.
We have geographical locations that are inaccessible by officers and squad cars, as well as community events that need to be patrolled.
It's more community engagement, more community involvement. We're more approachable on these bikes and should be able to give an opportunity for the citizens and the community members to come up to us and talk to us.
They're going to help with educating children and adolescents with bicycle safety and bicycle laws in Minnesota. It's going to increase the visibility of the police in Wayzata and Long Lake, as well as make quicker response time for those areas that were not accessible before. These electric bikes are roughly $3,000 a piece. The electric bikes have all the same components as a normal bicycle, with the addition of a few others. They have an electric motor. These bikes in particular have a pedal assist switch, as well as a switch in the handlebars to activate that motor. Supposedly they're about 25 miles per hour. You know, it's just another tool in the toolbox to help us assist the citizens of both the cities.
We'll take them out to the parks, the trails, community events. Downtown Lake Street's a prime example. Downtown Wayzata on Lake Street and over in Long Lake as well.
Police departments and communities need to share a common trust. There's some basic principles on how to build that trust in communities, and one of which is collaboration and being visible in the community. These bikes touch on both those. It was a collaborative effort between Anderson Windows and the Wayzata Police Department, and they're going to increase the visibility of officers in the public, as well as increase the interactions with the public in a positive way.
LMCC Community Television has come a long way since its inception in 1984.
Oh, buongiorno, friends. We've got an exciting show for you today. Today's secret Yellow Pages letter is B. All right, let's get to it.
Yeesh. Did anyone actually watch this program? But now, LMCC's high-definition evolution is complete. Introducing Community Channel 12 in HD. Watch high school sports, concerts, and LMCC's award-winning original programming in crystal clear HD. Your community TV, now in HD.
Bremer Bank, St. Anthony, Maine. Bremer Bank, Richfield.
It's time for Scam Alert. This segment will alert the public on scams that have been reported to local police departments.
Scammers are using fake websites to con would-be pet owners out of money. Better Business Bureau of Minnesota and North Dakota has seen a rise in this common scam. Consumers find a pet for sale online and wire money to the seller, who should be shipping the pet to them, but instead pockets the cash and is never heard from again. Their websites try to trick consumers by displaying an American Kennel Club logo and claiming to be certified. However, the club does not certify breeders or sellers. Breeders have to register their litters with the club. Scammers have also convinced buyers to pay excessive shipping or insurance costs on top of the purchase price, which will supposedly be refunded after the dog's flight. Unfortunately, that fee will never be refunded and no pet will ever arrive. The best way to avoid this scam is to only buy pets after meeting the animal or the breeders face to face. Don't trust everything their website claims. Call the American Kennel Club's customer service line at 919-233-9767 to verify the litter. Make sure you have a written contract. No matter where you purchase a pet from, be sure you have the terms, conditions, and guarantees in writing. If you've been a victim of a pet scam, you can file a report with the Federal Trade Commission by calling 1-877-FTC-HELP. WhatsApp scams have exploded this year, with creative fraudsters devising new ways to use the Facebook-owned messaging service. Scammers often pretend to be friends or relatives of WhatsApp users and trick them into revealing their passwords. They access the account and pose as the user, sending messages to deceive the account holder's contacts. Victims have been lured into buying point cards for online games and told that they could make money by selling them. However, after unlocking the point cards, scammers sold them online themselves for a profit and disappeared. In order to prevent your WhatsApp account from being hijacked, you should activate two-step verification. With two-step verification, users must enter a personal identification number as well as a verification code to log into their account. If the message doesn't sound like the person sending it, contact them through a different application. To report a WhatsApp scam, contact the Minnesota Attorney General's office by calling 651-296-3353. The advance fee loan scam goes like this. You see an advertisement that guarantees loan approval for bad credit, but first you must pay an upfront fee for processing or paperwork. The promised loan never materializes and you're out of the advance fee you paid. Legitimate loan servicers may charge a fee, but they deduct that fee from the loan check. Real loan programs never require an out-of-pocket fee when you submit the loan application. Another red flag is if the loan is not issued by a reputable bank or other recognized lender. Responsible lenders do not loan money to people without checking their credit history, nor do they approve a loan to anyone with a poor credit rating. Ethical lenders do not promise a loan before a consumer even applies. Reputable lenders also won't pressure their customers to wire money. If you're asked to pay a fee up front through a wire service such as Western Union, you should turn down the offer. Wire transfers are nearly impossible to reverse or track. Do a search for the company name and read client reviews online. You can also check with the Better Business Bureau to make sure the company is legitimate at www.bbb.org.
Thank you for watching First Responder TV, your local public safety source. If you have an idea for a segment or an upcoming public safety or fire prevention event, please let us know. This is Kellie Murphy-Ringate giving you information you can use, share, and to live by. See you next time.